following the 1 year anniversary of the LGBTQ clinic at the Long Beach Medical Center, we're here to talk to Dr. Adrian Castillo to see how it's transformed over the year. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for coming in.
Absolutely. I mean, what a great setup you have here over in your office. It just feels so wonderful and warm and inviting. So tell us more about the clinic. What kind of services does it offer?
So our LGBTQ clinic offers really primary medical care as well as acute services to anyone that identifies LGBTQ. And so what this means is, regardless of their ability to pay as well as their insurance, we will see them and we will help them get connected with services, get them the medications that they need, and potentially refer them to surgeons for mental health, and to get lab work as well. So we really want to be a one-stop shop for our LGBTQ community that otherwise might not have a medical home here in Long Beach.
It sounds really all-encompassing and so accessible as well, and the fact that people don't have to have an insurance and that you will see anybody and cater to them as well. So tell us a little bit more as to like what kind of patients come in and what do they want to do and what does a first visit look like?
So a first visit to our clinic is usually a 30 to 60-minute visit, depending on the visit type. And it really takes a really good inventory of your medical history, any concerns that you have, where you are on either your gender journey or your sexual orientation journey. And then it allows us to assess for any need for primary and preventive services. We know that our transgender community as well as our LGB community really underutilizes primary care, and this is really due to the fact that there is a lot of mistrust in our community. Over 50% of transgender patients say that they feel like they have to teach their primary care doctors about their own medical care, which is unacceptable. A lot of this stems from the fact that in medical school, over half of medical schools do not offer any transgender education at all, which also is unacceptable. So we are in the confines of a residency program training family medicine residents. So oftentimes we'll also have family medicine residents do the initial intake, and they'll present the case to me. And that way we have all of our family medicine residents at least a few times rotate through our clinic so that they can have experience providing gender-affirming care and learn about how to provide culturally sensitive and competent care for this community.
So there's a lot of care that goes into the patients that come in here. And there's something that you said that really struck me, saying transgender people have a higher rate of homelessness and food insecurity. So what other services does the clinic also provide to help the people here?
So we do work closely with the LGBTQ Center of Long Beach, where we basically refer patients back and forth. They refer patients over here for medical care. And if they need a social worker, if they need mental health services, legal services, we can refer them back over there. As well, we also have a social worker of our own in this family medicine clinic, where we provide all of this LGBTQ sensitive care. So we can refer to our own social worker as well.
So tell us a little bit as to how has this clinic over the year transformed itself and also what's next for it?
So it has grown tremendously, both through the referral process from the LGBTQ Center and through positive word of mouth, which we're so grateful and honored by. So it initially started as a once monthly clinic where we had a patient population of about 5. Over the last year and a half or so, it actually has grown to a patient panel of over 80. And we've been able to link at least 10 patients who didn't previously have insurance to insurance so that they can access the medical care and resources that they need. So what's next for this clinic? We really hope that we can expand services. We're looking to increase access by providing care over at the LGBTQ Center of Long Beach. We actually are doing a free clinic over there now and providing services on Monday afternoons.
That's incredible. So how can people access this information? Where should they go on the website?
So they can access information through our Memorial Care website, as well as through our residency website. If they also look at the LGBTQ Center of Long Beach website, there should be additional information there.
Thank you so much, Dr. Castillo. Now tell us, how were you referred over to the clinic?
Actually, I had just gotten top surgery, and that was August of last year. And I got it all the way in San Francisco. I needed to come back to Long Beach because this was home. I was healing here. I was supposed to get the drains out. 2 weeks after that, I went back to San Francisco, and they weren't ready. So I needed to come back home. And on my way back home, I was struggling to find someone to help me with the process because I couldn't go all the way back to San Francisco to do it. I didn't want to. So I called probably 6 different clinics. Everyone said no, they couldn't do it, or they weren't aware of it. They didn't know what I was asking. And so I was already finally giving up until I reached out to one last person who was actually from the center. And she said, hold on, I know somebody, let me give you his email. And that's when I got Dr. Castillo's email. I asked him, and he said, sure, we can definitely do it for you. And I came in, and I mean, everything was great. The surface was great. The nurses, everyone was so helpful, so welcoming. The doctor was so welcoming. And I mean, it was just like a painless experience for me.
To have so many clinics that weren't able to see you, that's also kind of fascinating. So tell us a little bit as to, or paint the picture as to how your first visit looked like here.
Sure, absolutely. When I walked in, I was in pain. I was very sore. From the get-go, I felt welcomed. Everyone was super nice, super welcoming. Everyone looked at me and smiled and like walked me to the room and just gave me step by step. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Let me look at this. Is it okay if I look at this? Is it okay if I touch this? And from that point, I was like, okay, cool. These people were actually really cool. And so I was like, yeah, for sure, go ahead. Please do what you need to do. And it was a really easy process. I think it might have taken like an hour because it was the first visit, and I had drains in and everything. And so there was paperwork I had to fill out like any other clinic, but everything besides that, I mean, it was painless. It was stress-free. I wasn't nervous. I was really calm, and like I said, everyone was super welcoming. So it was a really easy experience for me, pleasant experience. Yeah.
So how are you feeling today? I know you were one of the first patients, and you keep on coming back as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the staff is amazing. I've done so many different things and I'm never judged. I bug them a lot. I'm constantly making appointments with them, constantly reaching out to them, and they're always willing and free to help me, give me information, refer me out to places. I just had an appointment with Dr. Casilio the other day, and he's like, I was reading through my emails, and every single email you say, I'm sorry to bug you, and he's like, you're not bugging me. It's okay. You can reach out. And I was like, all right, cool. That's what keeps me coming back. It's walking in those doors and seeing people say, hey, how's it going? It's been a while, or it's good to see you again. And everything is just so welcoming. It feels like home. I've even referred other people here. And I have a friend, and she was really nervous for it, and she's a trans female, and she's like, oh, I don't know, and I'm like, dude, they'll take care of you right here. And as soon as she walks in, she texts me, and she's like, oh my God, Evan, I love them, like they are so awesome. And it was just great. It was a great experience. Everyone here, they're the reason why I keep coming back. If it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't continue coming back.
Why is it so important to have a clinic like this for the LGBTQ community?
There's so many of us, and by us, I mean not just transgender, but the LGBTQ in general. Like Dr. Castillo was saying earlier, there's so many clinics that aren't even educated on the situation, and for someone to go into a clinic and I have to teach you what my care should be. It's like I'm still clueless, and so we definitely rely on a professional's expertise, and if they don't know what they're doing, it kind of sets us back, and there was actually a point in time where when I first started my journey, I went into a clinic and they were completely clueless, and it stopped me from starting it. I was like, okay, never mind, I don't want to do it. And that put it backtracked me about 2 years or so, and it made me kind of re-question everything that I was about myself. So it's extremely important for professionals to understand what it's like, because we're human beings. We're not just transgender, we're not just lesbians, we're not just gays, we're human beings, and we should be treated as such. And I think it's extremely important that, especially here in Long Beach, being so diverse, that we definitely need more clinics, that if I call a clinic, my first clinic should be able to say, yes, I can help you.